Work that Misbah is doing.
Misbah. Well, I hadn't come here before today. I hadn't heard of you. I am delighted that you are inviting a community of, I call them converts, but I understand the significance of the word revert. People who have come to Islam from whatever faith tradition or no faith. We are different, and I completely understand that the established Muslim communities don't necessarily want to have to deal with white people who don't know anything about anything. But we talk each other's language. This was obvious from the meeting today. We need guidance, we need help. We get very confused by some of the things that established Muslims tell us. There was a sister here today feeling that her mother, who was Catholic, who is dead, would have gone to hell because she wasn't Muslim. That's stuff. You know, we need to help people understand true Islam. I love Good Street. I come here often for Utrush. I think this is a very good centre, although I do think that you need to have a slightly larger ladies' prayer room. But
I would agree.
But given that 80% of the people who come here are female, but we're used to that. women in Islam get used to these things.
The broom cupboard just don't quite cut it anymore.
I know. You know, it's a lovely place. I love Good Street, and you welcome people from many Islamic traditions, and I think Misbah's a great idea.
Great. And do you have any advice or suggestions for us as we continue to develop Misbah?
You must help the converts to contact each other, and you must also, I think you should have a helpline. Something like, it needn't be a 24/7, but it could be at certain times on a Friday or at a weekend or something. People volunteer to be by a phone, it can be a mobile, so that if somebody rings saying, you know, I'm sitting in front of a glass of champagne, what do I do? You know, that's an obvious thing, but you know, somebody who urgently wants to feel they're wobbling and they want support from someone, or they've read something in the Quran and they don't understand this and it's really upsetting them. They just need to reach out, because, you know, I'm stubborn and I'm old and I get myself through because I was given a lot of grit by Allah. But I can see some people who are more sensitive than I am could easily be overwhelmed by the experience of being a new Muslim and not being welcomed. I mean, I understand why a white face is not appropriate in many communities. You know, the colonial rule, which my father was part of, was not necessarily nice to me. So, you know, you see, the one thing the Indo-Pakistani people value about their culture is Islam. The last thing they want is a colonial muscling in. So I understand that, and I'm very happy to bow out, you know, because, and in fact I'm supporting, with more money than I've got, a community of Pakistanis in Tooting who, mashallah, are wonderful with their children and teaching them to read Quran early and to, you know, they're doing it well. I wanted it to be a mixed community, it didn't end up like that, but I'm still supporting them financially because what they're doing is a good job, it's just I don't belong there. So that's fine.
What would you say is the biggest challenge that new Muslims face?
Loneliness and ignorance. They have a lot to learn. They have a lot to learn. And they've got to sift their way through a lot of disinformation. And it's difficult to get the teaching because you go to a mosque, it's not in your language. You know, and with the best will in the world, standing there in Tarawih prayer till you're fainting, not necessarily helpful. The late, great Dr. Zaki Badawi, may Allah be pleased with him, I asked him if what I'd sorted out for my Tarawih was okay, And I had this little stand, and I'd do my Fatiha, and then it get to the next bit, and I'd turn on the tape of my Quran, and I could read enough Arabic that I could follow the Arabic, but I'd also be following the translation. When it got to the proper bit, I'd turn it off, do the rest bit of my rak'ah, and then stand up again, another Fatiha, and do it again. And, you know, eventually, 2.5 hours later, I get through my 20 rak'ahs. And I said, you know, it's not kind of the way you're meant to do it, but is it okay? And he said, absolutely. But, you know, it's because I just was lonely in mosques. I could go on, but all of us have had the experiences of really nasty ostracism, pushed to the end of the line and then squashed so that you go back. Nobody comes to pray with you. It's a message.
Amina, sorry, on that point, when you got ostracized and that, what made you keep on going after all of these setbacks and these rejections and the
Quran.
The Quran.
The religion.
Faith and trust is there.
The religion is sublime. I came. You see, were you born to Islam?
I had parents that are Muslim, but I didn't follow them.
No.
Like
So
a
you
cultural
came
thing.
to real Islam later.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but at least you were born into the tradition of Islam.
Traditional, yeah.
I was born into another tradition that was like the difference between Britney Spears and opera.
Okay. One against the other, yeah.
You know, Britney Spears is okay, but you listen to Pavarotti or something, oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I could never, ever learn Islam. It's too big for me.
Yeah.
And I was asking for more, and I've got too much. But I can drone in this section. It is huge.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It is huge. And you can think you've read the Quran, you think you've recited it, and the next time you recite it, you learn something more, and something more, and something more, and something more.
Wow.
Great.
And, you know, it's huge. It's huge. That's all I can say.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Invite me again.
It will do, definitely.
I'll come to support the sisters.
Great.